Yeah, it reminds me of a conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. You raised the question: does the DEI diversity is it
Diversity,
diversity
equity initiative.
equity? Yeah, does that movement cause more racism?
Yes.
Not just if racism wasn't discussed at all.
No, no, yes. The answer is emphatically, unequivocally, yes.
It invites racism, right? The whole initiative.
It generates racism. It is it only exists and supports itself by having more racism in the world than existed before it. It has, again, this is equity. Equity is the prioritization of certain groups, first of all, by categorizing humanity in individuals as groups, not individuals, and then assigning arbitrary values to those groups, promoted by a small group of elites based on arbitrary reasoning, usually on political or economic gain. That is equity. It has nothing to do with equality. In fact, it is the exact antithesis of equality. If you believe in equity, you believe in racism. You believe in sexism, ageism. You believe in every single one of the isms and phobes that they like to attribute to other people, because that's what diversity does. It can only exist if you polarize and divide, section off groups of people, and they cannot be individuals. They must be a group. You are not a male. You are your gender, your sex, your sexual preference, your skin tone, your height, all the different categories. You're no longer just a person. It's not Cam, it's not Aaron. You're the category of a type of male in a certain type of economic, socioeconomic lifestyle. You're not individuals. And anything you do is only a benefit or only exists because of the category you've been put in.
Yeah.
How is that not dehumanizing?
And everything you do is also a reflection on the group that you're a part of. So a member of that group that put you in might commit a murder. Therefore, everyone in that group should be stereotyped as potential murderers.
Oh my God, I played Hogwarts. Trans people died. Show me the proof. Show me the connection. Show me even one time where there is a direct correlation of that. It doesn't exist. Oh my God. I bought Atomic Heart. Oh my God. You believe in Putin. You are a communist and you are trying to help Russia. Really? Show me the connection. Show me the proof. Show me how that is. And you could tenuously show a connection between Atomic Heart, the video game, and the taxes that Russia takes from businesses, and say, well, that's connected. That's tenuous at best and does not equate to, well, you support Russia. No, it means I play a video game because I don't want to give my money to Disney, who is trying to tell me, obey, don't think, and change my lifestyle, my worldview, my personal feelings. And they want every straight man to date someone who's trans. Whether or not you want to, you must do it because that's what they're telling you. And more importantly, that's what they're telling the 5, the 8, and the 12-year-olds. That's social engineering. You know, we heard about social engineering before. It used to be called eugenics. It used to be, what did they call it? It was where they would look at your shape of your brain, of your skull, and determine whether or not you were healthy or not, whether you were a good person or not. It was a pseudoscience. Same idea. There's so much evil that's happening right now, and diversity, equity initiative is part of that. I had more integration in the 80s, mid 80s in my life than I have today. See, I have an interesting perspective. You guys are younger. I remember the racism of the 70s. When I was in elementary school, first couple of grades, I was in 3rd grade, I believe it was. This is like 1974. Yes, folks, I'm 50. I'm about to be 55. I'm a little older. 1974-ish. I was in 1st grade or so. And I was in a classroom and I had a classmate, a young girl, white girl, who I was talking to in class because, you know, you're in the classroom. And we were talking. After class that day, I came out and her older brother, I think he was in 6th or 7th grade, something like that, came to pick her up and confronted me. and said, you can't talk to my sister. You're black. You're black and you don't get to talk to her, or else I'm going to hurt you. That is racism. That was the reality in the 70s. After the civil rights movement, as we were transitioning, people were sorting out their feelings. That's the 70s. That's racism. That's reality. Today, I can date anyone of any color anywhere in the world, walk around, and pretty much no one's going to say a word. No one's going to stop me. I can have mixed race children, and everyone's perfectly normal about it. Whether you like it, you don't care. It's not a big deal. No kid today in America, UK, Germany, France is really running into that situation. There are some extreme examples, usually where we have a massive influx of refugees into a very small community, and they're having that same clash of, we haven't figured you out yet. Are you assimilating? Are you not assimilating? There's a couple of other factors. But overwhelmingly, anywhere that's had the time to transition, to accept and assimilate groups of people, no one cares. No one asks that question. There was less racism in the 80s after coming from the 70s and having that. And people assimilated and adjusted and said, you know what? You've talked to my sister, big deal. Didn't change the classroom, didn't change her life, didn't destroy the universe. I guess it's not that big a deal. To where we are today, where I need safe spaces for black people, and only black people of the right certain color, and white men are evil by white men specifically, but white people in general are evil because of the color of their skin, and we have to demonize them. And I'm a victim. You're a victim because of the color of our skin. We were born this way. We can't do anything about it. And because all of the racism is systemic and subconscious, and therefore we need the government, which is just another bunch of people, but the government has to come in and protect us from them. Do you notice? Okay, so you're a victim for life. You have no agency, no power. You are a child. You are helpless. And a government, someone else, an outside influence must come into your life to allow you to be able to live your life. How damn insulting is that? How is that disempowering and dehumanizing that you aren't capable of living your own bloody life? You can't even make your own decisions because you are that inept. You are that childlike. You're a victim for life. And these other people are empowered and powerful for life. Therefore, they must be evil by definition, which is now, again, dehumanizing and destructive. And here's the consequence of that. I have brothers and sisters who are lighter skinned than most white people. They are Hispanic. They're Puerto Ricans like I am. They had the same father as me, who's a little bit darker than I was when he was alive. Okay. My mom was black. I have a sister and a brother. Their mom is white, Polish, in fact. They're very light skinned. I have a sister who speaks Spanish with a southern U.S. drawl. Huge accent, Georgia. Am I supposed to hate her because her skin is white? Because most people look at her and will think, well, she's white, so she's evil. By definition, because of the color of her skin. She's my sister. I love her. I'm supposed to hate her because the color of her skin it doesn't match up with someone's color chart? This is how we promote evil in the world. This is how we dehumanize people. We are looking at them as categories rather than as individuals, and therefore they have no worth. And we have put in place this small group of elites pulling the strings saying, obey, don't think, don't consider this consequence or how it's going to affect anyone. Just do as we say. And if you dare raise a question or bring an example that counters that, you are an evil Nazi and we have to destroy you. Has anyone ever considered that's the example of my family. Let's multiply that by a couple 100,000 people, a couple million around the world. Let's think about those consequences. Let's think about what that really means. And the news media will give you a minute and 30 seconds to look at a headline and never consider that question. Who is doing damage to you? Me or them?